Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. We are coming to you from outside beautiful Pullman, Washington, God's country over here. Speaking of God's country, we have been covering a rather disturbing story from another part of God's country, that being Montana. A gun store in Great Falls, Montana, Highwood Creek Outfitters, as you know, was raided by armed agents of the IRS, who then confiscated a bunch of 4473s. Now, it has many of us here in the Second Amendment community speculating as to what the hell might be going on there, but it has a couple of members of Congress pretty worked up about things, and it appears that they're going to snap back a little bit. So this could get really, really interesting. So today, let's spend a few minutes and talk about when your state bites back at the ATF and the IRS. Okay, so what we're talking about is the raid by armed IRS agents back on June 14th of Highwood Creek Outfitters, a otherwise reputable FFL in Great Falls, Montana. Now, what's most interesting about this raid is they didn't take all the financial records, the things that, you think the IRS would be interested in. Instead, they ended up taking boxes and boxes and boxes of Form 4473s. It even had us beginning to speculate, was somehow or another some nefarious enforcement of the pistol brace rule underway with the confiscation of these documents. Now, the owner of this gun store, Mr. Tom Van Hoos, who by all accounts appears to be a legitimate, reputable business owner, has already made appearances on Fox News, on Jesse Waters, and is beginning to stir the pot, if you would, and for good reason. So this has United States Senator Steve Daines, as well as United States Congressman Matt Rosendale, really interested in getting some answers as to what the hell is going on here. In addition to that, Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen, who we are a big fan of here at Washington Gun Law, has also launched an investigation trying to figure out what the heck is going on with Highwood Creek Outfitters and why is the IRS taking all the Form 4473s. Now, it appears that Representative Rosendale has gone even one step further, writing a very curse letter to ATF Director Steve Dettelbach, demanding some answers and really painting a quite vivid picture of the current state of affairs as it relates to the ATF's relationship with normal law-abiding Americans. Representative Rosendale's letter stated, "While we wait to hear more details and rationale behind this raid, given the positions of the Biden administration, this raid appears to be an attempt to intimidate firearms dealers and owners. This is particularly worrying given that it comes just weeks after the ATF closed the gun store in Cobb County, Georgia, without any advance warning. A pattern of intimidation and harassment seems to be emerging under Director Dettelbach's leadership of the ATF. This pattern appears to be orchestrated directly from the White House, as evident by the fact sheet released by the Biden administration, where they detail their plans to hassle Ma and Pop gun shop over minor record keeping and paperwork discrepancies." And then Representative Rosendale on his Facebook page added further commentary, including, "The raid that took place at Highwood Creek Outfitters is outrageous. Under Director Dettelbach's leadership of the ATF, a pattern of intimidation and harassment against hardworking Americans has emerged. Montanans will not tolerate these political witch hunts. I remind both Director Dettelbach and Commissioner Werfel that Congress has the power of the purse, and I will ensure that funding for these agencies is not weaponized against the American people." And then in a letter to the ATF, Senator Daines has now made several demands wanting to know some specifics about this particular investigation and raid. His letter included the following demands. 1. What was the scope of the search warrant you used to gain access to the store? 2. Were ATF Form 4473 seized as part of this investigation? If so, what do your agencies intend to do with the information they contain? 3. What communications, if any, did you have with local and state law enforcement prior to the events of June 14th? 4. Will you commit to sharing pertinent information and updates regarding your investigations where appropriate with local law enforcement and the community moving forward? And of course, those final two questions are in relation to the fact that the local sheriff, Jesse Slaughter, has now stated publicly on multiple occasions that he had no advanced warning whatsoever about the raid and did not learn of it until it was already being conducted. Now, if it turns out that Highwood Creek Outfitters was engaged in some type of nefarious financial activity, then the IRS may have reason to have raided, and there may be some information that they obtained, none of it on the 4473s in all likelihood, that may substantiate that crime. However, there are many other reasons for which this raid could have occurred, and many of them do not pass the smell test. So let's all very carefully keep our eyes on this case. There will be a lot more developments, and I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg on something that may turn out to be much bigger than we initially thought. Now, as you can imagine, Mr. Van Heusen, all the folks at Highwood Creek Outfitters are really getting smoked by this. This is not good for business. They have set up a Give, Send, Go account. I'm going to put the links for that all down below. I'm also going to put all of the information for them. So if you want to show them some love, because you can imagine the hell that they're being put through, please consider doing that. In the meantime, if you guys got any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay, because that information is right down there in the description box. In the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.